And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, los grand finales here of the Korean StarCraft League, the KSL week number 79. It's been an intense tournament so far. We are down to our top two players. We're down to our Protoss and Terran. Let's go. Let's jump into our best of five. This morning, in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. He just mech'd the hell out of Classic on this very map in the other matchup in the other semifinals. He's back. He's here representing Team Liquid. It is herO. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our TVP Grand Finals. Here we go. Coming into this tournament, coming into this finals, coming into this matchup, I do favor herO. I do lean towards herO here, just because herO, this is his tournament. He rarely ever loses in the Korean StarCraft League. But I would say that herO is going to be a very strong opponent against him. herO, for a long time, he had the best TVP in the world, and his best matchup was TVP as well. In this kind of era of StarCraft for the past like 2 years, I would say Clem has taken that role, taken that mantle away from herO, and Clem now stands as the best when it comes to TVP. The herO is not too far behind him, and again, they both do often play together, they strategize together, they practice together. That's why their TVP often looks quite similar to each other as well, and we'll see if he can take it to herO. Oh boy, not going to be easy. Not going to be easy whatsoever. Double gas opener into a faster factory. And I should also kind of delve into what I just mentioned is herO's mech. herO, he has been playing a lot of mech versus Protoss. When I say a lot of mech, I don't mean every game. Know what I mean? It's very map dependent. Very map dependent. He's very fond of mech on Pylon, for good reason, and he's very fond of mech here on Tokamak as well. So I would say there's a higher chance that we might see mech here on Tokamak. He just played mech on Tokamak against Classic and just beat him with it as well. This is something that herO's been a little bit more fond of. Likewise, Maru as well, Gumiho, some of these other Korean Terrans, Ryung as well. Byun has been dabbling less in it, so it's kind of on a player-by-player basis. And herO does open up Stargate. Okay, interesting. We'll discuss mech further if herO does delve into mech. If we see an additional factory. For the time being, he does open up Double Reaper, does chase down the first Zealots, and herO is opening up Stargate. Very bold move, but Stargate openers are a lot more viable on these larger maps. Stargate openers can be abused. You can punish Stargate openers on smaller maps by going for all-ins, by being hyper-aggressive, but on a map like Tokamak, there's less of a chance of your Terran opponents being aggressive and more of a chance to get away with Phoenixes with a Stargate. Did I say Phoenixes? We have an Oracle opener instead. Okay. So we have an Oracle-based opener. We'll see if this does lead into Phoenix production or if this does lead into a delayed Twilight Council. As herO's moving out, he has 3 Reapers, 2 Hellions. It's a hefty army. Does threaten the dive. So far, herO's keeping up really nice moves with the Shades. Very nice. Oh, also, if it didn't trigger in the chat, my apologies. But predictions A should have been opened already. I will double check that. Hold on. Sometimes the predictions break on me. Okay, yeah, they did open. All good, all good. All good. As from here, we are getting into Cloak Banshee. So again, double gas into a faster factory, faster starport, into Cloak Banshee. So very committed here from herO. Meanwhile, herO back at home, we spoke about the Stargate opener. Stargate is going into Phoenixes, into a Robo. This looks like Phoenix Colossus. There it is, the bay is on the way. So this is an old school build. Hey, we just spoke about this in the previous series. We were kind of going through some of the history of TVP, some of the older styles that kind of fell by the wayside that are no longer in the meta. This is one of them, going straight up Phoenix Colossus. Meanwhile, hey, there it is. There is mech. So there's a lot to get into. There's a lot to discuss. First things first, we spoke about the downfall of Phoenix Colossus, how players got more aggressive over time, all-ins became more prevalent, maps became more aggressive focus against aggressive centric, and this kind of style fell off. But We're on Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the largest maps in the map pool and a very defensive map. The most defensive map in the map pool as well, with your 3 and 4 base setup being very, very secure. So trying to rush into Phoenix Colossus is more viable on a map like Tokamak. More so than, for example, Pylon or Ultra Love or Lost Fantasy. Here, you can't get away with it. Meanwhile, we do have the relation. 4 probes go down, but the Banshee is shut down. And now Cure knows. Cure, he lost the Banshee, but now he's scouted and now he's aware of the Phoenix production. Meanwhile, back at home, he's throwing down extra factories, getting into mech. Now, when it comes to mech, likewise, this map also favors that mech style. Why does it favor it? Well, because of what I just mentioned. This map is large, and also it's very secure on 4 bases. You can easily get up to 4 bases, slow the game down, and max out. And that should be the goal here. Initially, we have Battle Mech, which is a more active style, but we also need Battle Mech because of what? Because of the Phoenixes. Phoenixes are amassing as we speak. Second Banshee into the main base. There is an Oracle somewhat in position. The Banshee should not get much done. Gets 1, gets 2. Gets 2 probe kills. Nice cleanup here from herO. We are embracing that mech. This will eventually lead into a more traditional form of mech of mass tank. This will get there eventually. We have 2 Widow Mines here in the mineral line to shut down to punish Phoenixes. Cyclones are amassing. And again, seeing mech against Protoss has become more trendy and more popular over the past couple of months. It's been a couple of months now where more of the Korean Terrans and even European Terrans have embraced this. Gabe has also been playing a lot of mech. True. Gabe, he played a lot of mech at EWC, at the Esports World Cup. Jimio, who's always been playing mech, but now again, players like Cure, even Clem, I think he played like a game in his series with mech as well. And Clem has been tipping his toes. Marvel, of course, as well. Has been embracing it more. And we'll see if Cure is going to be more active here. Remember, he does have his battle mech online. Macphilix Rages is done. So is Blue Flame. He is slowly establishing his third. Once he gets his third up and running, we should be seeing more of a tank-heavy composition instead. Meanwhile, the Bay is done. We should soon be seeing Colossus production, but up against Battle Mech here, ideally you do want a more Zealot Immortal heavy composition. We do have 2 Colossus so far. Stasis Trap goes off. Stasis Trap does connect. For now, Curie's still massing up more Cyclones. Massing more Cyclones. We have Archon production on the horizon as well, which is also crucial. And you can see we have a very passive game. No player has really moved out. Which it's Tokamak. Like, the map does lean towards that, so both players were just backing off, we're just securing ourselves on 4 bases. Widow Mines, straight Phoenixes into the main base. The Mine Shots! Mine Shots pop off. Very nice catch. Very nice trap by Cure. As Phoenixes, they recall back home. They recall back home. We have a second Stargate on the way. +1 air attack. Is herO tempted to go into Tempest production? No Fleet Beacon yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. Now, when it comes to versus mech, Protoss armies, they are typically heavily reliant on just a mass gateway composition, something that's very cheap, alongside Immortals, of course. That's typically what you want to be going for. A cheap mobile army to keep up with a cheap mobile army as well. As Cure is not stopping with Cyclones, he has not been on tank production yet. Personally, I would have thought by now we would have seen tanks just to secure the 4th, but it hasn't happened yet. Cure, he believes in the Cyclone. He believes. Here he attempts to dive in. He's going to get punished. There's a lot of Zealots going down. There's that Fleet Beacon. So again, this is the first sign of Tempest. That is what we were looking for. Third Stargate as well. Cyclones are moving out. Losing all those Zealots is actually quite brutal here. Kira's maxed, and here he needs those Warpins, needs those Zealots. Stasis goes off. Does disable both Colossus. That disables. Phoenixes are diving in. They dive on the Raven. Oof, Mind Shield going off. Does go for the mass lift. Does lift up all the Cyclones. Yeah, Cyclones are lifted. herO does hold. He does defend. The Stasis Trap putting in a lot of work as well. And he does catch out the remnants of the army. He cleans up. Very nice engagement from herO. Very efficient. What did he lose in that fight? herO, he lost one Phoenix. He lost one Phoenix. He lost 6 Zealots. He lost an Oracle. He barely lost anything, to be honest. He barely lost anything. Just a very strong fight. And herO, he's snowballing out of control. As you mentioned, the mass gateway composition works wonders. Phoenixes, they're holding their own as well. There's not enough Cyclones, not enough anti-air. We're down to 3 Cyclones. 3 Cyclones left. Colossus, they bully their way into the mineral line. And herO, he's achieving what Classic could not. Remember, Classic, he fell to this style in the semis. Here, herO, he wins one fight. He immediately counterattacks. GG gets called. He breaks Kira's third base, and herO takes game number 1. Whew, GG. herO, he takes the lead in the series. You can see behind that he was getting into carrier production, not Tempest, but he was working towards Skytoss. And again, herO, really patient play. Likewise, he did make the decision to go into a second Stargate into Mass Phoenix, and honestly, it worked really well. He was able to lift almost every single Cyclone. Of course, the Stasis Trap did play its part. It did mean that he had less Cyclones to worry about, and then he could just clean up from there. And once again, as I mentioned before, as I was trying to emphasize, I'm surprised that Cure was so late to switch into tanks. He was very, very committed to Mass Cyclone, and it doesn't really scale as well into a longer game. We saw that he was quite dedicated. I mean, he was close to maxing out, to be fair. He was like at 180, 190 supply. But that was a brutal fight. A brutal fight that went heavily in favor of herO. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of torches, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Twisted Minds, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Green Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Kira's up 50 supply. All you have to do is just a move. I guess lack of experience with mech. Lacey might be a little bit unfamiliar with too much of Kira's games. As we were trying to emphasize before, Kira, he does play a lot of mech. He plays a lot of mech as of late, especially specifically in the TVP matchup. That's how he was able to beat Classic previously. What I should emphasize as well is that Kira, I mean, once again, he did commit really, really hard into Mass Cyclone. Typically, he does switch earlier into a more tank-heavy style, so he was much more committed. He was much more, I mean, again, committed is probably the best word to use there. And if he were just to aim move in, he would have lost that fight even harder, unfortunately. As we saw that herO was able to catch him out with all those Phoenixes. He was very efficient with his army, able to lift, able to pick off those Cyclones. It was a really solid engage out of herO. It was a really rough start for Kira, just because he got caught by the Stasis Trap, of course. Really rough start. And again, his army had a bit of a timer on it as well. As ideally, you do want to switch out of just pure Cyclone like that, especially if you're getting to a longer game, which he was. He was setting up for a longer game. Yeah, looks like Lacey in the chat doesn't watch a lot of Cure. As for now, we're going to be going for our expansion, and welcome one and all to Torches. I should actually bring it to the map itself. Welcome to Torches. Torches is one of the most vetoed maps of the map pool. We do have a racked expand economic opener, this time out of Cure, but the reason why this map is often vetoed is because of some of the quirks of the map itself. Here in the center, we can mine through the mineral patches. We have gold bases that we can take advantage of. Likewise, very short rush distance by air. Because of that, we actually do often see Phoenix openers. But because herO played Phoenixes in game 1, I don't expect to see that 2 games in a row. I do like Phoenixes here on Torches. It can be really useful, it can be really abusive, but seeing it multiple times in a series here, maybe you want to pull away from that. And there we go, Twilight Council opener out of herO. He does open up the center of the map, setting up for his expand. He is setting up to expand towards his opponent. We'll see how many gateways he commits into, bearing in mind that Blink is a little bit weaker on this map because there's no secure way to blink straight into the main base, just because of the terrain. Likewise, pushing into the natural as well can be quite difficult. The natural base is quite large here, and you can't set up on the high ground. You have that ramp available to you as well, so we'll see how hard herO commits. Behind this does have a 2-gate, there we go, 3-gate setup. Very safe play, 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink Stalker, Curie's in the center of the map, hoping to catch any stray units. And here he even goes to the robo before expanding as well. So again, just very safe play out of herO. All-ins are more common on Torches just because of the rush distance by ground. Nice cleanup here. That's going to be, what, 2-3 Marines going down? 4, Jesus. 4 Marine kills. Nice pickoffs out of herO. As Cure drops into the main. We'll delay the third. Not bad. Delays the third expansion. Behind this, we have early tank production. We have early Banshee production as well. Stim is going to be delayed in favor of tanks and Banshees. And Cure, he may even just avoid Stim entirely if he commits. Ooh, nice cleanup there. The medevac goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal pickoff. That's a full medevac as well. Curie's in the right position. Throws down 2 more Raxes, getting into a 3-1-1 setup. eBay for +1. And here he has a choice to make. He can throw down 2 more Raxes and commit into a 2-base all-in, or he can expand. What's it going to be? Going for the add-on swap, working towards Stim. As the Banshee does move out. No cloak. Just a vanilla Banshee. Rotates behind the gas geyser. Takes down a gas geyser, denies mining. Takes down 3 SCVs and a depot. Very nice. Yeah, tanks are not quite in position, they're a little bit too far back. There's a recall back home. As the Banshee does get 4 probe kills. Meanwhile, here, do we dive on the add-on? No, going for the mineral line. Charge is not done, but we have the slow drop, the slow zealot drop. The slow lot's in the main. Gets 3 SCVs, picks up an add-on. Unfortunately, not quite able to get this round on Stim, but does go for the reactor. Nice value nonetheless. herO doesn't lose any zealots. He picks up, he pulls away. And we were waiting for 2 more Raxes. There it is, 2 more Raxes. We have a 5 rack setup on 2 bases. Based on the losses we've had so far, Cure, he can now make the decision to commit on 2 bases, to maybe even pull the boys and go for a 2-base all-in. We'll soon find out. Snipes the Observer. Observer goes down, Stim will finish. Here, he needs to ensure he gets eyes on the move out. It's not going to be an easy hold. Cure just waiting for the upgrades to finish. Stim, +1, combat shields. He's getting there. And here he comes. Yeah, here he comes. Here comes the mass on siege. At the same time, here he does backstab. He spots the 2 extra Raxes, sees no add-ons. And again, Cure, he has to pull back. He is delayed. And here back at home, we need as many warpins as possible. He needs as many warpins as possible. We have the first Colossus. It's all or nothing for Cure. He's 2-base all in. This push has to end the game. He needs to end it. Does supply block herO. Uh-oh. Yeah, 5 pylons being thrown down. Jesus. It's a lot of pylons. Here he can't quite engage. There's the Unsiege. Tanks that do see it up in time. herO pulls back, ideally fighting out of range of the tanks. He does want to fight out of range. Trying to lure herO out. Stalkers, they get caught. herO buying time for +1. 2 more seconds. Gets the extra warp in. And I was going for it. Yeah, he's going for it. Charge is now done, so it's +1. The tanks are going to be the first things to go down. Takes out all the tanks. And now diving on the Vikings. Ooh, the prison does fall. But so do the Vikings, and with that, herO, he's holding. Yeah, herO, he does hold. GG gets called. herO, he takes a 2-0 lead in this series. He shuts down the 2-base all-in. GG, well played. Again, herO, he did a great job at buying time, at confirming the all-in, at delaying the push, and of course, at even forcing the all-in as well. Like, herO had a really strong start to the game with economic damage, killing SCVs, picking up add-ons, delaying any kind of move out, and of course, he was able to confirm the all-in coming his way when he got into the natural. When he got into the natural, when he saw the Raxes, when he saw 0 add-ons on the Raxes as well, that was the tell that he needed. And the longer the game went on, the better it was for herO. And now herO is 1 game away from claiming the series. Oh boy. One more game is all that he needs. Cure, the pressure is on. As game 3 is going to be on Ley Lines. Now, Ley Lines is an interesting map. We spoke about how Tokamak, more macro-centric games are favored there, and we saw mech on Tokamak. We spoke about Torches, how aggression and all-ins are often favored, and we saw aggression and an all-in there from Cure. Coming into Ley Lines, this is a little bit more middle of the road. This is not as macro-oriented as Tokamak, but it's also not as aggressive as Pylon or as Torches. A little bit more down the middle here, so we have a lot more versatility here. We have a lot more options available to our players. We'll see what we get into. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss leading the series 2-0 and 1 game away from claiming the entire series and becoming this week's KSL champion. It is a herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the South Korean Terran, struggling here in these finals. He's down 0-2. He has to start the comeback here and now to have a chance at even forcing the ace match. It is Cure. Oh, hello. Let's go. As Cure has his racks back at home, he moves out with a very early SCV, and his goal here looks to be an eBay block, as he does avoid the main scouting path, so he avoids the probe, comes in from behind, and is set up for the block. And this is a really good way to disrupt the early game of the Protoss and to force the unnatural natural. Let's go. eBay has been thrown down, and herO, he's going for his probe scout across the map, but he will have a late reaction to this eBay, which means herO most likely is going to be forced to expand elsewhere. So a cheeky start out of Cure. Oh, you can see he's in position at the 3rd as well, which means he will delay even further, assuming herO heads to the... Okay, herO, he goes for the center base. Bold move. Goes to the center expansion. But again, a very exposed base. Again, this is the unnatural natural from herO. With that, Cure can abuse this. Cure, he can abuse this location, or he can abuse the fact that herO is going to be split and spread between this natural and his main. That is the big advantage that Cure has. Behind this, he goes for the factory before CC. So faster factory into faster Hellion production. As Cure, he's looking for the... Oh, he's looking for the base. Cure, he's not fully aware. He does check. Checking for pylons, checking for tech, checking for just production buildings. And Cure, he believes he's being all in. Aha, misread. Yeah, misread from Cure. That's the upside of going for this base. It's very unnatural. It's not at any of the 3rd locations. It's the 4th location instead. And here he's terrified. He's terrified. He's setting up back at home. He's got his bunker. Going for extra add-ons, delaying his CC. Finally, we'll expand. Finally, we'll expand. There it is, CC on the high grounds. And herO will saturate. So there's a bit of a give and take here. Overall, I still favor Kira's position, assuming he's going Cyclone. Because he feels threatened, he's going for a Cyclone-based opener, not for Hellions. It's going to be great defensively, but less so aggressively across the map. Specifically in regards to economic damage. Lock-on is broken. Tank, oh, really early tank production. Okay. Este Cure. As here he does bully back those Marines. Again, herO is just freely mining, freely expanding. Here he confirms the CC on the high ground. And here's gonna be feeling pretty good. Despite the opener, he's able to contain Cure. There's a salvage. Ooh, herO has a force field. Okay. If Cure went a little bit further down, he would have been locked in. Thank God. Don't scare me like that, Bobby. Don't scare me. Aye, aye, aye. Okay, we go. From here, herO is getting to his gateway composition. We have a charge on the way behind this. Going for a charge-based opener, actually. Ooh, very nice. Now, basically, rushing to charge like this is meant to shut down a tank push. If herO goes for a 2-base early tank push, say a Beyond move out, for example, then herO can shut him down. herO will shut him down. And based on the early tank production, I'm leaning towards that. Raven behind this, not Banshee. Hallucination does confirm. No tech lab, no early stim. No tech lab on the racks, I meant to say. No early stim. Ooh, there's the on siege. Okay, Cure, he's repositioning. Cure's setup here is designed to defend against Blink Stalkers, but as we can see, no Blink. There's no Blink. Charge is finishing up. herO, can he catch that tank? Going for the bunker. Bunker goes down. Ooh, we have the tank blows from the high ground as well. And Cure, he will hold. He will hold on, but he will lose the tank. And now he's aware of charge. Now Cure has to be hyper defensive. Has to be hyper defensive. Nice tank target firing, but ooh, does force some friendly fire. Here it does force a bit of friendly fire. Storm is now on the way. Now again, with charge being revealed, Cure should be mainly defensive here. He should be turtling up on 2 bases, slowly getting a 3rd CC, and playing out a longer game. Meanwhile, herO is teching. Here he's teching up. For a moment, I thought that was the 2nd factory, but no, it's playing by. You can see he's walling. You can see he's fully walling up, which is the correct thing to do. Winding it back here, I'm kind of saying what he should do without explaining necessarily. But charge-based openers, there's a plus and a downside. The downside is this. You cannot shut down Banshees, Ravens, drop play because you're lacking Blink Stalkers. What you can shut down, and what this is designed to shut down, is early game aggression. If Cure were to move out on the map, then he would be overwhelmed by Mass Zealots, and he would lose the game. He would lose the game. Likewise, what's the counter to Mass Zealot to charge-based openers? SimCity. You need to wall up, as we're seeing here. That's why he moves down the factory. That's why he sets up the eBay. That's why he's fully walling off here. We get a storm drop. It doesn't feel good to relinquish map control, but it is the correct thing to do. But as for sure, like as a Terran player, it does not feel good to just relinquish map control, to be stuck on 2 bases, to slowly get a 3rd base up and running. But if you try to be cavalier, you will be punished. As herO, he does take his 3rd base, getting to Storm, getting to a 4th expansion. And if you notice Cure here, he goes for the Ghost Academy, early Ghost Academy on 2 bases. He's going for extra Vaxes. I don't see a third TC. Now, last game at this point, I would have assumed 2 base all in. I'm leaning towards that here as well. We should be seeing a third base soon. What I will say though is that this style from Cure that we're seeing here, 2 base Ghost, is something that we saw a lot during GSL. If you recall in that finals against herO, this is a way to try to, I mean, you're rushing to early Ghost because your opponent has early Storm. So this is the counter to early Storm, is early Ghost and early EMPs. I'm pretty sure Cure, he should be expanding with this though. We'll see. We shall see. As here he's taking up into Colossus. The Bay is on the way, the 4th base as well. He's working towards Colossus production. The big question for Cure is, does he pull the boys? Does he move out and commit with everything he has? It looks like he is, as he does on Siege. Here he comes. Okay, so far he has 4, so to be 6 Ghosts. Yeah, 6 Ghosts. Sharking around. Behind this, we should be seeing a command center here. Storm zones. Here he spots the main army. Here come the EMPs. Gets 1. 1 EMP goes off. Here's pushing towards that mineral line. Tanks are getting within range. And he will deny mining. Nice moves. Nice positioning. Denies mining. We can see herO setting up for a surround. Setting up for a flank at least. Here's going to be collapsing in. How good are the EMPs going to be? EMPs, they connect. Yeah, no storms. Oh, there's 1 flanking storm, though. 1 storm does land. Tanks, they go down. But there's no storms left. There's no storms remaining. Still very close, very clutch. Prism moves in to juggle his units. And herO barely takes the fight. He barely takes the fight. He shuts down the main army. And behind this, there's no CC. Where's the base? Where's the command center? Cure, he's all in, and he loses the main army. Oh, trying to collapse in. The Colossus has arrived. Jesus, we're just getting so much free damage here on the Bio army. Yeah, the Colossus will dominate, and GG gets called. It was a 2 base all in. Remember, there was no expansion, there was no third base, there was no follow-up, and herO will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's KSL champion. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations here to, congratulations to herO as it does claim the series. Does become our champion. Congratulations again, Cure. Going into 2 base Ghosts like this, we did see Cure have success with this previously when it came to GSL, but what is important about this game state is that herO, he didn't just go for a standard charge into Storm, into Archons. He did take up faster in towards Immortals and specifically in towards Colossus as well. If he was heavily reliant on purely Storm, that would have been game. That could have been game then and there against that 2 base all in, but he had the reinforcing Immortals, he had the reinforcing Colossus. herO, he wasn't stuck on purely Storm, he was taking up out of that, and with that he was able to shut down the all in, shut down the Ghosts. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. Cure left switches his minds. Oh, my apologies. My apologies. I missed that. I missed that. My apologies. But apparently here he left Twisted Minds. Let's see. But with that, GG, well played. Congratulations to herO for becoming our champion. And again, he is a very I mean, he is often our champion. He's often the one to take these KSLs, as he's won almost every single one. GG, well played. Strong showing here by herO. Again, it's one of those things where herO, he's still one of, if not the best Protoss player in the world. Classic did have a better showing, better result at EWC, but herO, he still has, I mean, he's still up there for sure. He's still up there for sure, and definitely arguments could be made, especially when it comes to a tournament like the Korean StarCraft League. So GG, well played. A shout out to herO, of course, as herO did make it to the finals, is deserving to be here, of course, as well. And herO did take down Classic to make it to those finals. So herO, he had his own strong showing. And yes, looks like it was announced 2 hours ago. Oh, it was actually mid-tournament. That's kind of crazy. I guess when herO was waiting, or maybe he scheduled the tweets. But fun fact, 2 hours ago, mid-tournament is when herO did post that he did leave Twisted Minds. So GG, again, herO, he was on Twisted Minds for his run at EWC. Before that, he was on Weibo Gaming, but looks like they have parted ways, at least currently. As we mentioned previously, when it comes to the future of EWC, it is a little bit unclear. If StarCraft does return next year, then I'm sure our players are going to be picked up once again by these teams to compete in the Esports World Cup. For now, though, herO is a free agent. As of 2 hours ago. There you go, there you go. Here we go. Here we go. herO Duckling. Let's go. But otherwise, with that, we are wrapping up. We are going to be wrapping up here for the time being. We're going to be wrapping up. And thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. When it comes to the rest of our matches here, when it comes to the rest of our schedule on the CranKy Ducklings BAM, we do have our schedule here and now. We do have the KSL, which just wrapped up this morning or this afternoon. As you can see, we're going to be casting. We're going to be back this evening with the Master Swan Open. That is at 7 p.m. KST. That is going to be at 8 p.m. AEST. That's going to be in around 4.5 hours. Ooh. 4.5 hours time, we're going to be live here with Master Swan Open. If you're curious as to what that is, if you're like, what is that tournament? We've been running it for years, is what I will say. We've been running it since like 2017, 2018. It is a monthly amateur tournament for Masters players, hence the name, Master Swan Open. So if you're out there, if you happen to be, you know, a more amateur player, a more up-and-coming player, someone that wants to play for fun, someone who wants to compete, of course, then this tournament might be for you. Of course, it is limited to players that are below 4.7k MMR, which is around Masters 2 level basically, and below. Also, bearing in mind, we are very strict when it comes to ladder games. We do require a minimum amount of career games and ladder games per season. So if you don't meet those requirements, then you will not be able to play. But if you do meet them, if you're an active player, then you can compete in our tournament. So again, that is going to be in 4.5 hours time. Fun fact, MSO is something that we started many years ago, and because it was so long ago, we actually used to cast some pro players before they were pro. Players like Mixu were featured, players like Baby Marine as well, players like GG Machine, players who are now GM, who are now pro or semi-pro. A lot of them we casted back when they were Diamond, back when they were Masters, back in the day. So it's always a lot of fun to kind of see these diamonds in the rough, to see these players compete in our tournaments and eventually, you know, make something of themselves. I'm not saying it happens to everyone, but every now and then, a player, you know, they have that competitive drive and they're able to take that to greater heights as well. It's always a little good fun, And if you want to see those pro players back when they were Diamond or Masters, check out YouTube from VODs from, again, back in 2018, 2019. Like, it's been a long time. But you can check out those VODs. So yeah, that's going to be later on this evening. Again, it's just a way to spread the love. It's a way to have tournaments for these up-and-coming players and allow them to compete and give them a reason to improve, to give them that drive, to help give them that drive. That is the goal, at least. That is the hope. So again, that's going to be later on tonight. I'd also remind you that, again, it is going to be more amateur players, so we are less strict when it comes to covering the event and casting the event and covering the players. Of course. Likewise, tomorrow we're going to be live with Sparkling Tuna Cup. That is our weekly open tournament. Every Sunday we have our open cup, where we feature players like Solar, like Shin, like Nightmare, Bjorn as well. A lot of the Europeans, true, like Geralt, Nicaract, sometimes like a Gigi Machine, a Wayne, a young Yakov does compete. But again, that event is open to all, so you can check that out over tomorrow for Sparkling Tuna Cup. If you want to support our tournaments, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat, and you'll get a link to our channel. Un momento. There you go. Do have our Patreon page, so you can check that out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Our Patreon specifically is designed to fund our tournaments. Bam, you can see here we have STC, we have Sparkling Tuna Cup, and we have the Masters 1 Open as well. All funded via our Patreon. Those are our tournaments that we run here on a regular basis. So you can support us there if you wish. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Following us is all that we ask for. We do upload VODs on a daily basis over on YouTube. YouTube is the place to be for VOD content, so you can check it out there if you're interested. If you see something on our schedule that you want to watch, and if you cannot watch it live, then YouTube is the place to be. Next week is going to be very, very busy for us. As you can see here, this week's schedule was a little bit scarce, a little bit more irregular, just because usually we're used to casting once a day, twice a day, every single day, but we are going to be slowing things down a little bit here. Currently, I find myself with a little bit less time to cast, so this is kind of like the schedule that we would expect moving forward, is like mainly once a day or something a little bit more sporadic like this. At least one cast a day is what I'm aiming for, at least one cast a day. We're going to slow things down a little bit, but that is not the case next week, specifically because of SEL. StarCraft Evolution League is the round of 16 is this weekend. There's a lot to cast, and we're gonna have a very intense week of StarCraft. Twice a day, every single day, non-stop StarCraft action is gonna be next week. Then after that, then we'll slow things down. At least I hope to. Again, nowadays I just have a little bit less time. I have to look after our new conejitos, new bunnies. So a little bit less time. But yeah, just as a heads up. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Again, if you want to support KSL, !KSL in the chat. There is a Patreon link to the KSL. KSL is also crowdfunded by the people, for the people, and it is a bi-weekly tournament. Every fortnight, every 2 weeks, bam, you have the KSL. So we'll see you next time. The slowing down is a lie. It always is. True. But now I have motivation to slow things down. But you're not wrong, Setsuna. I always say like, oh, it's gonna be like a leaner month. It's never lean, baby. It's never lean. But at this stage, I'm like actively turning down like casting opportunities. I'm like saying like, you know what, it would be nice to get some rest and you know, touch some grass this day. Let's not cast, you know, 12 hours. So that's at least for the upcoming month of September. Looks to be the case. Regardless. With that, we're wrapping up, and we'll see you guys. True. We'll see you guys in 4 hours for the MSO. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao, baby, ciao. See you next time.